God says I am speaking directly to you. Do not rush past this, not because you will miss something magical, but because you have carried enough weight in silence to deserve clarity. There have been nights when you kept your face composed for everyone else, yet your mind was loud with questions you didn't dare say out loud. You wondered if your effort mattered. You wondered if your patience was foolish. You wondered if the quiet meant I had left. I did not leave. The quiet was not absence. The quiet was alignment. I have watched you endure what would have hardened many people. You were misunderstood and you didn't turn it into bitterness. You were disappointed and you didn't let it become cruelty. You were tired and still you chose restraint. You held your tongue when your ego wanted to defend itself. You kept moving when your emotions begged you to shut down. That is not weakness. That is discipline. That is maturity. That is a heart being trained for something heavier than comfort. You think you were being delayed, but the delay was protection. There were doors you begged to open that would have reopened old cycles. There were opportunities that looked like answers, but carried the same poison in a nicer bottle. I blocked what would have cost you your peace. I closed what would have corrupted your purpose. I separated you not to punish you, but to preserve you. Because what I am building in you cannot be sustained by the same patterns that once drained you. You have been walking through tests, real ones closer together than you realized. Tests that did not come to destroy you, but to reveal you. One test was patience, staying steady when progress felt slow. One test was trust, moving forward without needing proof first. One test was obedience, choosing what is right, even when it is inconvenient. One test was love, refusing to become what hurt you. One test was silence, letting your character speak when your words would have become a weapon. One test was surrender, releasing what you could not control without losing your faith. And one test was sacrifice, letting go of what you wanted because you believed I could still be good. You passed more of these than you give yourself credit for. Not perfectly, not loudly, but truly. And I do not measure you by performance. I measure you by posture, by the direction of your heart when no one is applauding. That is why something in you feels different now. You have outgrown the version of you that kept negotiating with fear. You have outgrown the need to be understood by everyone. You have outgrown the habit of shrinking just to keep the peace. I have been refining your discernment. That's why what you used to tolerate now feels heavy. That's why certain conversations drain you faster. That's why your spirit flinches at things you once called normal. You are not becoming difficult. You are becoming clean. Now, hear this carefully. What felt stuck is starting to loosen. I am shifting your pace. I am rearranging your environment. I am realigning the people around you. Some will move closer with sincerity, others will drift away without explanation. Do not chase what I am removing. Do not beg for access to rooms I have already decided you have outgrown. When I close a door, it is not humiliation, it is direction. This next season is not about striving harder. It is about receiving wisely. You will notice that certain things begin to happen with less force. Conversations that used to be impossible will become simple. Help will arrive without you having to advertise your pain. Opportunities will come that match your growth, not your desperation. And yes, some people will say, "It happened so fast." They will not know the nights you survived. They will not know the prayers you whispered when you had nothing left to perform. They will only see the result. But I saw the process. I counted the tears you never posted. I witnessed the battles you fought in silence. And I am not rewarding you only with outcomes. I am rewarding you with inner evidence, peace that does not depend on circumstances, clarity that does not collapse under pressure, and rest that no longer feels guilty. I'm teaching you how to live without constantly proving yourself, so do not return to what I rescued you from. Do not romanticize the old pain just because it is familiar. Do not reopen a door I closed just because loneliness tries to bargain with you. Do not settle for half love, half truth, half commitment. You are not in a season of survival anymore. You are being introduced to authority. Quiet authority, stable authority, the kind that doesn't need to shout. Protect what I have built in you. Guard your mornings, guard your mind, guard your boundaries. Speak less to people who only want access to your energy, and more to me who restores it. Make decisions from peace, not from panic. If you don't feel rushed, don't rush. If you don't feel clarity, don't force it. You are learning to move with discernment, not impulse. And when you feel the old fear rise, when you hear the voice that says, "What if nothing changes?" answer it with this truth: you are not forgotten. You are being positioned. This is not the end of your story. It is the turning of the page. The season that tried to break you will become the proof that you were carried. The very places that drained you will one day be the places your testimony heals someone else. You are not disqualified because you struggled. You are qualified because you stayed. So stand up again, not with noise, with alignment. Walk forward again, not with anxiety, with trust. Speak again, not to impress, to obey. I am opening what cannot be blocked. I am restoring what cannot be stolen. I am redeeming what you thought was wasted. And you will recognize it not by fireworks, but by how steady your heart becomes when the circumstances finally start to move. If this message is resonating with you, let it be more than a moment. Let it be a decision. You will not go back. You will not shrink. You will not trade your peace for familiarity. You have been tested. You have been refined. Now you are ready for what comes next. I am not finished speaking to you, because right after a season of testing, there is always a moment of instruction. And you need to hear this part. Clearly, what comes next will require a different version of you than what the last season demanded. You learned how to survive. Now you must learn how to steward. You learned how to endure in silence. Now you must learn how to move with wisdom. And I am telling you now, I did not refine you just to bring you relief. I refined you to entrust you with assignment. You have been asking for a sign, but you missed this. Your endurance was the sign. Your restraint was the sign. Your ability to keep your heart soft when life gave you reasons to become cold, that was the sign that you were ready to cross over. I did not measure you by how loud you shouted. I measured you by how faithful you remained when the room was quiet. And because you passed in private, I will not be ashamed to reward you in public. Now listen, the gates are opening, not because you forced them, not because you convinced anyone, but because the season that required resistance is ending and the season that requires readiness is beginning. The delay was not denial. It was alignment. It was protection. It was preparation. Some of the things you cried about were not losses. They were removals. I was taking away what could not follow you. I was separating you from patterns that kept you small. I was exposing what was unstable so it wouldn't collapse on you later when the weight increased. And yes, the weight will increase because I am placing authority on your life, not the kind that makes you arrogant, but the kind that makes you stable. The kind that doesn't panic when the wind changes. The kind that can hold blessing without turning it into an idol. The kind that can be seen without needing validation. That is why your appetite changed. That is why your tolerance changed. That is why you can't pretend anymore. You are not too sensitive. You are becoming discerning. You are not too intense. You are becoming clear. You are not hard to love. You are learning not to accept what drains you. Now, I need to remind you of the tests again, not to shame you, but to show you what I have already built inside you. The test of patience taught you to wait without quitting. The test of trust taught you to walk without proof. The test of obedience taught you to act without applause. The test of love taught you to forgive without being naive. The test of silence taught you to stay dignified when misunderstood. The test of surrender taught you to release control without losing faith. The test of sacrifice taught you to let go of what you wanted, believing I could still be good. Each time you passed a test, something in you died, and something stronger was born. You do not beg the way you used to. You do not chase the way you used to. You do not crumble the way you used to. That is growth. That is refinement. That is proof. Now here is what many people will not understand when I begin to move. It can look sudden to outsiders. They will say it happened overnight. They will say, you got lucky. They will say you changed because you finally got something. But they did not see the process. They did not see the pressing. They did not see the nights you kept going with no encouragement. They did not see the internal wars you fought just to remain kind. I saw all of it. I kept count, and nothing you endured was wasted. That is why I am telling you, do not shrink now. Because this next phase is not about hiding to survive. It is about standing with humility while I elevate you. You are not stepping into a season of noise. You are stepping into a season of results. You will be positioned without pushing. You will be chosen without campaigning. You will be protected without you having to defend yourself every time. And yes, things will begin to accelerate, not because you are better than others, but because you stayed faithful when it would have been easier to become bitter. Comment 777 if you receive that acceleration is not a shortcut, it is a reward for endurance. But I also need to warn you, with love, do not confuse speed with carelessness. When I accelerate you, you must stay grounded. When I open doors, you must stay disciplined. When I increase favor, you must stay pure. Because the enemy cannot stop what I have ordained, but he will try to distract you with what looks close enough. He will offer you substitutes. A relationship that feels familiar but costs you your peace. An opportunity that pays you but pulls you away from your purpose. A crowd that praises you but drains your spirit. A shortcut that saves time but erodes integrity. Do not trade your future for a temporary feeling. You asked me to lead you, so let me lead you even when your emotions want to run ahead. Now remember Joseph. He was tested in betrayal. He was refined in isolation. He was proven in responsibility when no one was watching. And when the time came, the same hand that allowed the pit also opened the palace. Remember Esther. She was hidden before she was revealed. She was prepared before she was presented. And when the moment arrived, she carried courage that could not be manufactured in public. Remember David. He fought in secret before he stood in spotlight. He learned strength in the field before he faced giants in front of crowds. I prepared him where no one clapped, because I needed him to know that the applause was never his source. That is what I did with you. I did not build you on attention. I built you on obedience. And that is why what is coming will last. Now hear this, I am restoring your confidence. Not the loud kind, not the proud kind, but the steady kind that doesn't collapse when someone doubts you. I am restoring your sleep. I am restoring your clarity. I am restoring your appetite for life again. The heaviness that followed you is lifting. The fog that surrounded your mind is thinning. The constant pressure to prove yourself is breaking. Because this next step is not about striving, it is about receiving. Stand still long enough to recognize what I am already doing. Stop rehearsing worst-case scenarios like they are prophecy. Stop assuming every closed door is rejection. Some doors were mercy. Some endings were protection. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right on time. Now, I am placing new people around you. People who don't compete with you, they cover you. People who don't drain you, they build with you. People who don't only celebrate your wins, they respect your process, and I am removing what cannot honor your growth. If someone must diminish you to feel powerful, they cannot walk with you. If someone only loves you when you are useful, they cannot access your next season. If someone keeps you confused, they cannot be part of the clarity I'm bringing. You have outgrown certain rooms. You have outgrown certain conversations. You have outgrown certain versions of yourself. And I am not asking you to mourn what I am ending. I am asking you to obey what I am beginning. Now lift your head. Your peace will be your proof. Your stability will be your testimony. Your fruit will answer questions you no longer need to explain. This is not the season you go back. This is the season you become consistent. This is the season you stop negotiating with fear. So walk forward, not because you feel ready every day, but because I have already made you ready for what matters. And I will go before you. I will guard behind you. I will strengthen within you. Now listen carefully, because this is where many people lose momentum. After testing, I do not only release results, I release responsibility. And if you treat this next season like a celebration only, you will mishandle what I am entrusting to you. What is coming is not just a gift to enjoy, it is a door to steward. You asked me for increase. Increase requires structure. This is why I have been pressing you toward discipline when you wanted comfort. This is why I have been exposing distractions you used to excuse. This is why certain habits no longer feel harmless to you. I am not taking joy from you. I am removing what leaks your oil, because I am about to answer prayers you stopped praying out loud. Not because you stopped believing, but because you got tired of being disappointed. You learned to keep your hope quiet so it wouldn't hurt as much if nothing changed. But I am telling you, hope is not foolish when it is anchored in me. This is the season where what you planted in private begins to produce in public. The conversations that felt random were not random. The closed doors that confused you were not chaos. The delays that embarrassed you were not punishment. They were precision. I was positioning you away from what would drain you and toward what can sustain you. Now, let me be direct. You will have to choose wisely. Not every open door is mine. Not every opportunity is alignment. Not every person who returns is restored. Some will come back because they see you rising. Some will come back because they miss access. Some will come back because they want the benefit without the covenant. Discernment will protect what favor attracts. You are going to notice something. The same things that used to excite you will start to feel empty. The same approval you used to chase will feel small, and the same environments you tolerated will begin to irritate your spirit. That is not you becoming ungrateful. That is you becoming honest. I am teaching you to stop calling familiar what is actually harmful, and as I elevate you, I will test you again, but not with pain the way before. This time, the test will be different. The new test is stewardship. Will you stay humble when people finally clap? Will you stay faithful when you finally have options? Will you stay pure when you finally have influence? Will you stay consistent when life becomes easier? Many people can cry and pray in lack. Few people can stay surrendered in overflow. But this is why I prepared you the way I did. I was not only building endurance, I was building character strong enough to hold blessing without losing your center. Now I am giving you instructions not to control you, but to keep you safe. First, protect your mind. Stop rehearsing fear as if it is wisdom. Stop letting anxiety narrate your future. If you keep agreeing with worst-case thoughts, you will sabotage what I am building. Peace is not passivity. Peace is alignment. Second, protect your mouth. You do not need to announce every step before it becomes stable. Some things are fragile at the beginning, not because I am weak, but because the wrong voices can infect your focus. Keep certain plans between you and me until they have roots. Third, protect your boundaries. You are not called to be available to everyone. You are called to be faithful to your assignment. If something costs you your rest, your integrity, or your clarity, it is too expensive no matter how good it looks. Fourth, protect your rhythm. I'm not asking you to run faster. I'm asking you to walk with me. Consistency will do what intensity cannot. Now hear the promise: I will not elevate you and abandon you. I will send the right support at the right time. I will put you in rooms you did not network your way into. I will connect you to people who recognize your spirit, not just your skill. And I will make your name trustworthy in places where your past would have disqualified you, because what I cleanse, I also defend. Some of you have been afraid that if things finally go well, it will all collapse again. But I am not repeating cycles. I am breaking them. This time you will not build on desperation. You will build on wisdom. This time you will not accept crumbs because you are tired. You will wait for what is whole. This time you will not keep explaining yourself to be understood. You will let fruit speak. And yes, there will still be moments where your old wounds try to talk. You will hear the whisper, what if you lose it? What if you fail? What if you're not enough? When that voice returns, answer it with truth. I did not carry you through the fire to leave you at the door of your promise. I did not teach your hands to hold on, just to watch you let go at the threshold. So do not minimize what I have done in you. Do not downplay your growth to make others comfortable. Do not shrink your calling to fit old rooms. Your life is not being upgraded for your ego. It is being aligned for impact. I am going to use your story, your real story, the parts you tried to hide to strengthen others. The same scars you thought disqualified you will become credibility. The same season you thought buried. You will be the season that proves you can't be stopped. Now, take a breath. You do not need to chase. You do not need to panic. You do not need to force what I have already set in motion. Your job is to stay close, stay clean, stay consistent, and watch how quickly things begin to fall into place, not as a performance, but as a consequence of alignment. And there is one more thing you need to understand, because this is the hinge point of the entire transition. When I begin to lift you, your environment will change before your feelings do. There will be days when doors start moving, opportunities start aligning, and people start noticing you, yet inside you still feel like the version of you that was struggling. That is not hypocrisy. That is recovery. Your spirit can be ready while your emotions are still catching up. So do not interpret still feeling tender as still being stuck. Now, hear me. The next attack will not be about breaking you with pain. It will be about pulling you off course with pressure. Pressure to perform. Pressure to explain yourself. Pressure to prove you deserve what I am giving you. But you do not earn my favor by exhausting yourself. You honor my favor by staying aligned. This is why I am telling you, resist the urge to rush. Acceleration does not mean chaos. Acceleration means I remove what was unnecessary, so what matters can move without friction. When I speed up a season, it is not because I want you anxious. It is because I want you focused. You will also notice something else as I elevate you. The wrong people will become louder. Some will suddenly have advice for your life. Some will question your timing. Some will act like they always believed in you. Some will try to remind you of who you used to be. Do not argue. Do not defend. Do not drag your spirit into conversations I never authorized. Silence was one of your tests, and it is still one of your strengths. Not because you are afraid to speak, but because you have learned when speaking is a waste of oil. Let your fruit answer what your mouth does not need to. Now, I am going to speak about relationships because this is where many people compromise right before breakthrough. You have been lonely, and loneliness can make you negotiate. It can make you accept almost love. It can make you call attention connection. It can make you reopen doors that I closed for your safety. But I am healing you past desperation. You will not have to audition for love. You will not have to chase consistency. You will not have to beg to be considered. I am bringing alignment, not attachment. Some connections will be restored with maturity. Some will be replaced with something healthier. And some will remain closed. Because what I ended was not meant to be revived. And yes, I am also speaking to your work, your finances, and your direction. You have carried responsibilities that were never meant to be yours alone. You have been faithful with little, faithful under pressure, faithful without recognition. I have seen your integrity when shortcuts were available. I have seen you stay honest when lying would have been easier. I have seen you keep moving when motivation disappeared. That kind of faithfulness creates momentum in the spirit. So when provision begins to come, do not panic and assume it will vanish. Do not sabotage it with fear. Do not spend your future to soothe your anxiety. This is a season for wise building. I am teaching you to multiply, not merely to recover. Now, let me make this personal. There was a moment you nearly quit, not dramatically, not loudly, but quietly. You told yourself, maybe this is just how life is. You lowered your expectations to protect your heart. You stopped dreaming in detail. You started calling resignation maturity. But I am restoring your vision, not fantasy, not escapism. Vision, the kind that comes with strategy, patience, and endurance. I am putting desire back where disappointment tried to drain it. I am reviving what you buried to survive. And this time, you will not carry it alone. Now, here is the instruction that will keep you steady as everything begins to shift. When I open doors, walk through them slowly enough to stay obedient. Do not ignore red flags because you're excited. Do not violate your values because you're relieved. Do not abandon your prayer life because you're busy. Do not sacrifice your peace for a platform. Do not trade your character for speed. The blessing is not just the door opening. The blessing is who you become while walking through it. And I am telling you in advance, you may be tempted to compare. You will look left and see someone ahead. You will look right and see someone louder. You will look back and see wasted time. Stop measuring. Start aligning. Your timeline has been curated with precision. What I kept you from saved you. What I slowed down protected you. What I removed preserved you. And what I am releasing now will fit you, not flatter you. You are not late. You are not behind. You are prepared. Now take this into your spirit. I am not just changing your circumstances. I am changing your standard. You will no longer tolerate what drains you. You will no longer settle for what confuses you. You will no longer beg for what should be consistent, because you have crossed a threshold. And as you step into this next phase, you will notice the simplest sign of all the internal war quiets down. The constant heaviness lifts. The nervous system relaxes. Your mind becomes clearer. Your sleep becomes deeper. Your decisions become calmer. That is how you will know it is me. Not because everything becomes perfect overnight, but because you are no longer fighting yourself to keep going. So keep walking. Stay close to me when it gets busy. Stay humble when it gets better. Stay disciplined when it gets easier. Because this is not a moment. This is a new order. Let me remind you what is actually happening beneath the surface. Because many people misunderstand this stage. What you went through was not random hardship. It was refinement. It was a series of filters carefully timed, removing what could not survive where I am taking you. That is why the pressure felt unusually specific. It targeted the places you used to rely on approval control, certainty, comfort, familiarity. I was not punishing you, I was purifying you. You have been asking, why did it have to be so intense? Because what I am about to place on your life is not light. It carries reach. It carries responsibility. It carries influence. An influence without integrity becomes a trap. So I strengthened your shoulders before I increased your assignment. This is why you felt isolated. Not because you were rejected, because you were being protected. Certain people could not follow you into your next season without contaminating what I was building. Certain environments could not host the version of you I was forming. I removed noise so you could hear me clearly. I removed crowd energy so you would stop confusing attention with confirmation. You weren't being pushed out. You were being pulled in closer, deeper, steadier. Now hear me. There are blessings I do not release into a life that is still negotiating with old patterns. You wanted doors to open, but you were still entertaining distractions. You wanted restoration, but you were still tolerating what drained you. You wanted clarity, but you were still addicted to chaos. So I taught you to choose me again and again when it wasn't dramatic, when it wasn't emotional, when it didn't feel rewarding. That choice is what matured your spirit. That choice is what proved your vessel. And now that your heart has passed the tests, I am releasing what was held, not because you became perfect, but because you became anchored. There are things stored for this moment, answers. You could not force favor. You could not manufacture connections. You could not network your way into. And what I release now will not be fragile. It will not be easily shaken by opinions. It will not be dependent on applause. It will stand. But I need you to understand something. The blessing is not only the outcome. The blessing is the inner upgrade you now carry. You have more discernment. You have more restraint. You have more authority in your prayers. You have more clarity in your decisions. That is why you can't go back. What you used to entertain now feels heavy. What you used to chase now feels empty. What you used to fear now feels smaller than your assignment. That is not you becoming different in a bad way. That is you becoming aligned. And alignment always looks strange to people who still live in compromise. Now, the next phase will require you to guard what I have given you, not with paranoia, with wisdom. Protect your peace like it is sacred because it is. Protect your time because your purpose needs it. Protect your spirit because you are not called to bleed for entertainment. Protect your obedience, because that is what keeps you covered when the wind changes. You will be tempted to over-explain yourself as you rise. You will be tempted to prove you deserve what I am doing. You will be tempted to keep everyone comfortable with your success. Do not do it. You are not being elevated for people's approval. You are being positioned for assignment. Comment Amen if you're ready to stay obedient, even when it's misunderstood. And yes, I am restoring you. I am restoring lost time, not by giving you the past back, but by redeeming what the past tried to steal. I am restoring your confidence, not arrogance, but stability. I am restoring your ability to rest without guilt. I am restoring your laughter, not as denial, but as healing. The heaviness that sat on your chest is lifting. The mental fog is clearing. The constant need to brace for bad news is breaking. This is what happens when a soul stops living in survival and starts living in trust. Now I am telling you plainly, the next step is not about striving. It is about receiving. Stop trying to earn what I have already decided to give. Stop punishing yourself for seasons I have already forgiven. Stop forcing doors I never asked you to push. Stand still long enough to recognize the difference between urgency and instruction. One is pressure. The other is guidance. Comment 777 if you're choosing guidance over panic. And this is the part that will touch generations. What I am doing is not only for you. The discipline you learned breaks cycles. The boundaries you set change bloodlines. The healing you choose becomes a new standard in your family. The peace you cultivate becomes an inheritance. You thought you were just trying to survive a hard month. But I was rewriting patterns that have repeated for years. So do not minimize this season. Do not call it just a tough time. It was a turning point, a separating, a completion. 7 is completion, and you have completed a cycle. Now, what was held back is being released. What was delayed is being accelerated. What was promised is beginning to manifest step by step with order, with wisdom, with covering. Not because you demanded it, because you endured with faith. And remember this, as you move forward, even when you did not feel me, I was closer than your breath. I was in the moment you almost quit. I was in the restraint you didn't think anyone noticed. I was in the quiet choices you made that no one applauded. I watched every part of your journey. And now I am saying to you, do not look back like you are still that person. You have crossed a threshold. You have been refined. You have been prepared. Now walk like it. Now a new strength is rising in you, and it will feel unfamiliar at first, not the kind of strength that needs to be loud, not the kind that argues, proves, or performs. This is a steadier strength, the kind that can stand in a room full of opinions and still remain anchored, the kind that can be celebrated without becoming inflated, the kind that can be tested again and still choose integrity without resentment. This is what I meant when I allowed the pressure. I was not only teaching you to endure, I was teaching you to carry, because what I am opening to you now comes with greater reach, and reach without roots makes people unstable. That is why I rooted you in the hidden place. That is why your character was being trained when you thought your life was being delayed. You are stepping into a level of authority that cannot be faked. Your prayers will feel different, not because you found perfect words, but because your spirit has been refined. Your discernment will be sharper, not because you became suspicious, but because you became honest. Your worship will carry weight not because you became impressive, but because you became surrendered. Do not be surprised when things begin to accelerate. You will see answers that arrive with surprising timing. You will meet people who make you think, how did we cross paths? Now, you will notice certain obstacles that used to resist you no longer have the same hold. This is not randomness. This is alignment catching up to what was prepared in secret. But hear this clearly: as you rise, I will keep you rooted. I will not allow success to pull you away from me. I will not allow visibility to become your identity. I will not allow momentum to replace intimacy. What I give, I also sustain, but I sustain it through humility, through gratitude, through consistency. There will be voices that once doubted you who will go quiet when the evidence becomes undeniable. Some will try to rewrite history and claim they always supported you. Others will watch from a distance, confused about how you kept your peace. You will not need to defend your calling. You will not need to argue your worth. Your fruit will speak for itself. Your stability will answer questions your mouth no longer needs to entertain. And I am restoring your confidence. Not confidence built on comparison or applause, but confidence built on knowing you are carried. You doubted if you could handle the weight. You wondered if the loss would end you. You feared that the pressure would crush you. But what the season meant to destroy became the training that strengthened you. Let joy return without you feeling guilty for it. Let laughter come back into your home without you waiting for everything to be perfect. First, let your mind breathe again. Let your body rest again. You have been braced for so long that peace may feel strange, yet peace is not a pause in your life. It is part of your inheritance. The war is not your identity anymore. Yes, you will still remember what hurt you, but it will not control you. You may still carry tenderness in places, but you will not be driven by fear. You will move with wisdom. You will choose with clarity. You will build with patience, and you will notice how things begin to fall into place. What you used to chase will start coming toward you. What you used to force will begin to flow. The people who never had room for you will either be removed or realigned, not as revenge, as order. I will bring the right people to walk with you. People who do not compete with you. People who do not drain you. People who understand your season and do not try to pull you backward for their comfort. This is what I meant when I said I have plans to prosper you. Not only financially, not only materially. I am prospering your spirit. I am prospering your relationships. I am prospering your rest. I am prospering your focus. I am prospering your purpose. You are not being upgraded for show. You are being equipped for impact. So do not look back and measure yourself by old timelines. Do not compare your pace to someone else's highlight reel. Do not call yourself late because your process was different. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are exactly where you need to be for what is coming next. The tests were not delays. They were preparation. And now you are prepared. You are positioned. You are covered. You are steadier than you realize. You held on when life tried to tear everything from your hands. You kept walking when it would have been easier to shut down. You stayed soft when bitterness was the simpler option. That grip was not desperation, it was faithfulness. And I honor what you held on to. So move forward with calm confidence. Not rushing, not forcing, not shrinking. Keep your heart clean. Keep your hands honest. Keep your spirit close to me. Because this is not merely relief. This is the beginning of rulership, the quiet kind. The kind that builds. The kind that lasts. The kind that turns survival into legacy. Now a new strength is rising in you, and it will feel unfamiliar at first. Not the kind of strength that needs to be loud. Not the kind that argues, proves, or performs. This is a steadier strength, the kind that can stand in a room full of opinions and still remain anchored. The kind that can be celebrated without becoming inflated. The kind that can be tested again and still choose integrity without resentment. This is what I meant when I allowed the pressure. I was not only teaching you to endure, I was teaching you to carry, because what I am opening to you now comes with greater reach. And reach without roots makes people unstable. That is why I rooted you in the hidden place. That is why your character was being trained when you thought your life was being delayed. You are stepping into a level of authority that cannot be faked. Your prayers will feel different, not because you found perfect words, but because your spirit has been refined. Your discernment will be sharper, not because you became suspicious, but because you became honest. Your worship will carry weight, not because you became impressive, but because you became surrendered. Do not be surprised when things begin to accelerate. You will see answers that arrive with surprising timing. You will meet people who make you think, how did we cross paths? Now, you will notice certain obstacles that used to resist you no longer have the same hold. This is not randomness. This is alignment, catching up to what was prepared in secret. But hear this clearly: as you rise, I will keep you rooted. I will not allow success to pull you away from me. I will not allow visibility to become your identity. I will not allow momentum to replace intimacy. What I give, I also sustain, but I sustain it through humility, through gratitude, through consistency. There will be voices that once doubted you who will go quiet when the evidence becomes undeniable. Some will try to rewrite history and claim they always supported you. Others will watch from a distance, confused about how you kept your peace. You will not need to defend your calling. You will not need to argue your worth. Your fruit will speak for itself. Your stability will answer questions your mouth no longer needs to entertain. And I am restoring your confidence. Not confidence built on comparison or applause, but confidence built on knowing you are carried. You doubted if you could handle the weight. You wondered if the loss would end you. You feared that the pressure would crush you. But what the season meant to destroy became the training that strengthened you. Let joy return without you feeling guilty for it. Let laughter come back into your home without you waiting for everything to be perfect first. Let your mind breathe again. Let your body rest again. You have been braced for so long that peace may feel strange, yet peace is not a pause in your life. It is part of your inheritance. The war is not your identity anymore. Yes, you will still remember what hurt you, but it will not control you. You may still carry tenderness in places, but you will not be driven by fear. You will move with wisdom. You will choose with clarity. You will build with patience, and you will notice how things begin to fall into place. What you used to chase will start coming toward you. What you used to force will begin to flow. The people who never had room for you will either be removed or realigned. Not as revenge, as order. I will bring the right people to walk with you, people who do not compete with you, people who do not drain you, people who understand your season and do not try to pull you backward for their comfort. This is what I meant when I said I have plans to prosper you. Not only financially, not only materially. I am prospering your spirit. I am prospering your relationships. I am prospering your rest. I am prospering your focus. I am prospering your purpose. You are not being upgraded for show. You are being equipped for impact. So do not look back and measure yourself by old timelines. Do not compare your pace to someone else's highlight reel. Do not call yourself late because your process was different. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are exactly where you need to be for what is coming next. The tests were not delays. They were preparation, and now you are prepared. You are positioned. You are covered. You are steadier than you realize. You held on when life tried to tear everything from your hands. You kept walking when it would have been easier to shut down. You stayed soft when bitterness was the simpler option. That grip was not desperation, it was faithfulness, and I honor what you held on to. So move forward with calm confidence. Not rushing, not forcing, not shrinking. Keep your heart clean. Keep your hands honest. Keep your spirit close to me. Because this is not merely relief. This is the beginning of rulership, the quiet kind, the kind that builds, the kind that lasts, the kind that turns survival into legacy. Now a new strength is rising in you, and it will feel unfamiliar at first. Not the kind of strength that needs to be loud, not the kind that argues, proves, or performs. This is a steadier strength, the kind that can stand in a room full of opinions and still remain anchored, the kind that can be celebrated without becoming inflated, the kind that can be tested again and still choose integrity without resentment. This is what I meant when I allowed the pressure. I was not only teaching you to endure, I was teaching you to carry, because what I am opening to you now comes with greater reach. And reach without roots makes people unstable. That is why I rooted you in the hidden place. That is why your character was being trained when you thought your life was being delayed. You are stepping into a level of authority that cannot be faked. Your prayers will feel different, not because you found perfect words, but because your spirit has been refined. Your discernment will be sharper, not because you became suspicious, but because you became honest. Your worship will carry weight, not because you became impressive, but because you became surrendered. Do not be surprised when things begin to accelerate. You will see answers that arrive with surprising timing. You will meet people who make you think, how did we cross paths now? You will notice certain obstacles that used to resist you no longer have the same hold. This is not randomness. This is alignment, catching up to what was prepared in secret. But hear this clearly, as you rise, I will keep you rooted. I will not allow success to pull you away from me. I will not allow visibility to become your identity. I will not allow momentum to replace intimacy. What I give, I also sustain, but I sustain it through humility, through gratitude, through consistency. There will be voices that once doubted you who will go quiet when the evidence becomes undeniable. Some will try to rewrite history and claim they always supported you. Others will watch from a distance, confused about how you kept your peace. You will not need to defend your calling. You will not need to argue your worth. Your fruit will speak for itself. Your stability will answer questions your mouth no longer needs to entertain. And I am restoring your confidence. Not confidence built on comparison or applause, but confidence built on knowing you are carried. You doubted if you could handle the weight. You wondered if the loss would end you. You feared that the pressure would crush you. But what the season meant to destroy became the training that strengthened you. Let joy return without you feeling guilty for it. Let laughter come back into your home without you waiting for everything to be perfect first. Let your mind breathe again. Let your body rest again. You have been braced for so long that peace may feel strange, yet peace is not a pause in your life. It is part of your inheritance. The war is not your identity anymore. Yes, you will still remember what hurt you, but it will not control you. You may still carry tenderness in places, but you will not be driven by fear. You will move with wisdom. You will choose with clarity. You will build with patience, and you will notice how things begin to fall into place. What you used to chase will start coming toward you. What you used to force will begin to flow. The people who never had room for you will either be removed or realigned. Not as revenge as order. I will bring the right people to walk with you. People who do not compete with you. People who do not drain you. People who understand your season and do not try to pull you backward for their comfort. This is what I meant when I said I have plans to prosper you. Not only financially, not only materially. I am prospering your spirit. I am prospering your relationships. I am prospering your rest. I am prospering your focus. I am prospering your purpose. You are not being upgraded for show. You are being equipped for impact. So do not look back and measure yourself by old timelines. Do not compare your pace to someone else's highlight reel. Do not call yourself late because your process was different. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are exactly where you need to be for what is coming next. The tests were not delays. They were preparation. And now you are prepared. You are positioned. You are covered. You are steadier than you realize. You held on when life tried to tear everything from your hands. You kept walking when it would have been easier to shut down. You stayed soft when bitterness was the simpler option. That grip was not desperation, it was faithfulness. And I honor what you held on to. So move forward with calm confidence. Not rushing, not forcing, not shrinking. Keep your heart clean. Keep your hands honest. Keep your spirit close to me. Because this is not merely relief. This is the beginning of rulership, the quiet kind. The kind that builds, the kind that lasts, the kind that turns survival into legacy. You are no longer in survival mode. There was a time when you measured your days by what you could endure. You woke up already bracing for impact, already negotiating with stress, already preparing yourself to be disappointed. That posture kept you alive, but it was never meant to be permanent. It was a temporary strategy for a hard season, not the blueprint for your life. Now, I am shifting you into authority. Authority does not mean you control everything around you. It means you are no longer controlled by what is around you. It means chaos can happen and you do not collapse with it. It means uncertainty can exist and you do not abandon your identity to chase reassurance. It means you can be misunderstood and still remain whole. This is why you no longer have the appetite to chase the validation. You do not need to explain the work I have done in you. You do not need to convince people to see your value. You do not need to make yourself smaller, so others feel safer. When I raise someone, I do it in a way that does not require constant self-defense. I will draw the right people to you, people who recognize your fruit, not just your potential. And I am placing a crown on the part of you that stayed faithful. Not a crown made of attention, not a crown made of popularity. A crown made of endurance, restraint, and obedience. That is why you will feel different in rooms you used to beg to enter. You will walk in without needing permission from insecurity. You will speak without trying to audition. You will lead without trying to dominate. The stability in you will become your signature. Some people will not understand how you made it through what should have broken you. They will not understand how you kept going without applause. They will not understand why you didn't become bitter. They will not understand why your peace is stronger than their opinions. And that is exactly why I chose you. Not because you were flawless, but because you learned to depend on me more than the crowd. Now hear this, your season of hiding is ending. Not because you need to be seen, but because you need to be used. Not for display, but for purpose. Not to impress, but to impact. What I placed in you was never meant to stay buried under self-doubt or fear of judgment. There are blessings with your name on them that are being released in motion, not in stagnation. You will receive them as you walk, as you obey, as you stay consistent. You will not have to manipulate outcomes. You will not have to force timing. You will simply have to keep moving with me. Pay attention to the quiet nudges. I am speaking more clearly now, not because I suddenly became louder, but because you have become still. Your spirit has been trained to recognize my whisper. You will sense direction in moments that seem ordinary. You will feel a check in your spirit before you make certain decisions. You will notice an unusual peace when you are on the right path, and a subtle heaviness when something is off. Honor that. You do not need dramatic signs to be led. You need consistency, humility, and courage to follow the instruction you already have. The heaviness that used to surround you is lifting. The dark cloud you carried in your mind is clearing. The fog is thinning. You will start to feel lighter, not because life becomes instantly easy, but because the internal resistance is breaking. The chains are not just falling off your circumstances, they are falling off your thinking. This is why you suddenly feel a shift. You are not stuck anymore. The path is opening. The excuses are losing their power. The fear is no longer in charge. So do not return to what I freed you from. Do not make agreements with small thinking because you are tired. Do not call settling wisdom. Do not confuse rest with retreat. Rest is coming, but you must rise into it. You must step forward with the maturity I formed in you. Speak with grace. Lead with love. Move with wisdom, and remember, this is not the end of the story. This is the beginning of multiplied impact. What you endured did not shrink you. It expanded you. What you survived did not disqualify you. It refined you. What tried to silence you will become the very evidence that you were carried. So walk boldly, not with arrogance, but with clarity. You are not fighting for a place anymore. You are walking in the place prepared for you, and as you do, you will see it. Doors opening with less resistance, relationships aligning with less confusion, provision arriving with less striving, peace settling with more permanence. Not because you finally became good enough, but because your life has come into alignment with what I have been building all along. This is the beginning, not the finish. You may feel the urge to treat this shift like a single breakthrough moment. One door opens, one problem resolves, one season ends. But what I am doing is deeper than a moment. It is a repositioning. It is an era. It is multiplied impact, not temporary relief. And multiplied impact requires multiplied maturity. That is why I am not only removing obstacles in front of you, I am removing what is inside you that would sabotage what you prayed for. I am not just changing what happens around you. I am changing what you agree with, what you tolerate, and what you call normal. Because where you are going, compromise becomes expensive. In your previous season, you could survive with mixed motives. In your next season, mixed motives will drain you. In your previous season, you could hide behind busyness. In your next season, busyness will become a thief. In your previous season, you could ignore your boundaries and push through. In your next season, ignoring boundaries will cost you peace, and peace is part of what I am restoring. So I am teaching you to recognize the difference between pressure and purpose. Pressure is urgent, noisy, and demanding. Purpose is steady, clear, and aligned. Pressure tells you, move now or you'll lose everything. Purpose tells you, move with me and you will not miss what is yours. You have spent too long letting anxiety dictate your pace. That ends here. I am giving you a new rhythm, one that builds without burning you out, one that grows without breaking you, one that advances without stealing your soul. And as you step into this rhythm, you will notice that your discernment becomes non-negotiable. Not everyone who celebrates you is safe. Not everyone who advises you is wise. Not everyone who offers you something is sent by me. Some doors will open as a test, not as a gift. Some invitations will come to measure your discipline. Some connections will appear right when you are vulnerable, hoping you'll choose familiar patterns over faithful direction. This is why I taught you to value peace over adrenaline. You are no longer impressed by intensity. You are learning to trust consistency. Consistency in character. Consistency in prayer. Consistency in boundaries. Consistency in the small decisions no one applauds. Because your next season will not be built on hype. It will be built on foundations. Now, let me speak to the part of you that still flinches when things start going well. You have been conditioned to expect the next problem. You have been trained by disappointment to brace for loss. You have learned to hold joy with one hand and fear with the other. But you cannot hold what I am giving you with clenched fists. Open hands receive. Open hands release. Open hands stay flexible when I redirect. So I am healing your nervous system as much as I am changing your circumstances. I am teaching your body what your spirit is already learning. You are safe to trust me again. You will not have to control everything to be okay. You will not have to predict every outcome to be protected. You will not have to overthink every step to be guided. I will guide every step. Some steps will be simple. Some steps will be inconvenient. Some steps will require you to leave what is comfortable, but none of them will be wasted, because I do not lead people in circles for entertainment. I lead with intention. Even the detours carry instruction. Even the delays carry protection. Even the closed doors carry mercy. And when you look back, you will realize the path was never random. Now, as I increase you, be careful with what you feed. Feed your spirit truth, not constant noise. Feed your mind clarity, not endless comparison. Feed your heart gratitude, not hidden resentment. Feed your schedule what matters, not what merely looks productive. You are entering a season where your environment will either accelerate your growth or weaken your focus. So choose what strengthens you. Choose what aligns you. Choose what keeps you clean. And when you are tempted to shrink again, when you feel the old reflex to apologize for your confidence, to dim your light, to make yourself smaller, remember this: you're not being raised for your ego. You are being raised for assignment. There are people who will meet me through your obedience. There are rooms that need your integrity. There are conversations that will change because you carry peace. There are cycles that will break because you refuse to repeat them. You survived for a reason, but now it is time to build. Build with patience, not panic. Build with wisdom, not impulse. Build with prayer, not pressure. Build with humility, not fear of people. And as you build, you will see that what once seemed impossible becomes normal, not because life becomes perfect, but because alignment produces momentum. So keep walking forward, not chasing approval, not racing the clock, not proving your worth, walking with me. And what I have prepared for you will meet you on the way. And as what I prepared begins to meet you on the way, you will have to remember why I brought you this far. It was never only about you getting through something difficult. It was about you becoming someone trustworthy, someone who can carry influence without being ruled by it, someone who can receive without forgetting where they were shaped, someone who can be seen without needing to be praised to feel secure. This is why I trained your inner life before I shifted your outer life. Many people want doors to open, but they are not ready for what comes through those doors. They want visibility, but they have not learned stability. They want increase, but they have not learned stewardship. They want elevation, but they have not learned obedience when it is costly. You did. That is why what is coming will not be a temporary high. It will be a sustainable season. But I need you to expect this. When you step into a new level, the old level will try to call you back. Old voices, old habits, old fears, old coping mechanisms, old relationships that depended on the smaller version of you. They will try to make you feel guilty for growing. They will frame your boundaries as arrogance. They will call your clarity coldness. They will label your discipline as changing. But you are not changing for the worse. You are becoming coherent. Your values are aligning with your calling. Your decisions are matching your future. Do not negotiate with what I have already outgrown in you. There is a difference between humility and hesitation. Humility keeps you teachable. Hesitation keeps you trapped. I am not calling you to be reckless, but I am calling you to stop shrinking every time you sense momentum. You have spent enough seasons second-guessing what I already confirmed. Now, let me speak about the kind of opposition you may face next. It will not always look like obvious attacks. Sometimes it will look like distraction that seems harmless. It will look like opportunities that pull you just slightly out of alignment. It will look like being too busy to stay grounded. It will look like constant noise so you can't hear your own discernment. It will look like small compromises that promise convenience. This is how people lose what they prayed for, slowly, quietly through neglect. So stay awake, not anxious, aware. Awareness is not fear. Awareness is stewardship. Keep your yes clean. Keep your no strong. Keep your pace steady. Keep your private life consistent, because the public fruit you want is grown in private discipline. And I am not asking you to become rigid. I am asking you to become anchored. Anchored people don't swing with every emotion. Anchored people don't make decisions in panic. Anchored people don't need constant reassurance. Anchored people can wait without spiraling and move without rushing. You are becoming that kind of person. Now, understand this, you will be given choices. Not all at once, but one decision at a time. A choice between what feels urgent and what is truly important. A choice between what looks good and what is actually right. A choice between pleasing people and protecting purpose. A choice between repeating a pattern and building a legacy. These choices will define your next season more than any single miracle. Because miracles can open a door, but choices determine what you build inside it. And I am giving you the wisdom to choose well. You will sense when something is misaligned, even if it is attractive. You will feel when a relationship is draining, even if it is familiar. You will recognize when an opportunity flatters your ego, but violates your peace. That is not you being difficult. That is you being led. Follow that leading. Do not let guilt talk you into carrying what is not yours. Do not let fear talk you into delaying what is yours. Do not let pride talk you into proving what I already know. Move with quiet certainty. Now, let me comfort the part of you that still thinks you have to be perfect to be used. You do not. I am not entrusting you with your next season because you never struggled. I am entrusting you because you learned to keep choosing me in the struggle. Your growth is not measured by never falling, it is measured by returning with sincerity, staying teachable and refusing to turn your pain into poison. That is why you can be trusted. So when things begin to open, do not freeze. When you receive opportunity, do not self-sabotage. When you receive love, do not assume it is temporary. When you receive provision, do not treat it like a trap. When you receive peace, do not confuse it with boredom. Peace is not emptiness. Peace is order. And order is what I am establishing in you. It begins with you staying close, staying clean, staying consistent, and letting what I have prepared unfold with the steadiness it was designed to carry.